Hi everybody, I hope you're all well. This is part 16 of 31 Days in August, and I thought, seeing as we're over the halfway mark now, I'll do something a little bit different than review a comic. I'd actually read it to you. Now, a lot of people have said that this isn't actually a comic, it's a kid's book, a children's book, but I think because of the author and the artwork in there, I still class it as a comic, and I think it is a really good addition to anybody's collection, be you just a general comic collector or a horror comic fan or anything like that. It's by Steve Niles and Nikki Niles. Now, Steve Niles, as we all know, 30 Days of Night, the Cal McDonald mysteries from Dark Horse about the private investigator that deals in supernatural cases, and also the artwork in this comic is from Benjamin Roman. It was published in 2005 by Image, and it's called The Lonely Tombstone. No, I just turn the brightness down there a bit for you. There you go. The Lonely Tombstone. With the white cover and that, it glares a bit on the thing. So yeah, if you allow me, I'll begin. Darla was the kind of girl who didn't have a lot of friends. It wasn't that the other kids didn't want to be her friend. She just didn't particularly care for them. At school, she would sit in the back and draw pictures of black cats. She loved black cats more than anything in the world, but her parents told her she couldn't have any because she was allergic, and they were evil. It made no sense to Darla. Even when Darla took a big sniff of a kitty in a pet store, she had no allergic reaction, but still her parents said no way. After school, when all the other kids played sports and ran in circles screaming, Darla headed off on her own to see what she could discover. One day, she wandered into a small clearing not far from her home and thought she saw something hidden in the weeds. When she investigated closer, Darla saw, to her shock and delight, a small plain tombstone, abandoned and alone, all but hidden beneath the high growth. She pulled away the tangled twigs to get a closer look, and on the stone was a simple engraving. It said only "Precious." No name, no date. What a great discovery, Darla thought. What an amazing thing she had found. On that first day, she cleared away all the weeds and dusted the lonely stone the best she could with garden tools, gardening gloves, and her favourite pair of combat boots. She could hardly sleep that night. All she could think about was the tombstone she'd found. What was it? Whose was it? And how come it had been lost for so long? The more she thought, the more excited Darla became. She'd clean and clear the whole area around it. Who knows, maybe she'd become famous for her discovery, and they'd call her a genius explorer like Jacques Cousteau. Except she'd found a special tombstone instead of some stupid fish. The next day, a gloomy Saturday, she arrived early with her various tools and packed a lunch because she knew she'd be there all day with her magnificent find. She carefully pulled every weed from around the base and then cleared away the crabgrass, rocks and mouldy mess that had started to grow. That night, she dreamt of the tombstone. It was her special place where nobody called her weird or made her do heinous amounts of homework. She dreamed that the tombstone spoke and it told her, "You are special." On Sunday, the clouds had cleared and the sun bright overhead. She ate her avocado and sprout sandwich and leaned against her new friend, the tombstone named Precious. Each day for a week, Darla would anxiously await the school bell to ring, and when it did, she bolted ahead of everybody, past the kids loading onto the bus, and ran into her secret place. Sometimes she would just sit and ponder, imagining all sorts of stories about the grave. Was it the grave of a murdered man or woman? Perhaps it wasn't a grave at all. Perhaps it was a marker for gold buried deep beneath its hallowed grounds. Sometimes Darla talked to the tombstone. She'd tell it about her terrible parents and the kids at school who seemed nothing like her. They did what they were told without question, not Darla. If a teacher gave her an assignment, she would always ask what significance an essay would have on her future. She never got an answer, only a trip to the principal's office. Some days she would just sit and say nothing, enjoying the macabre peace of the lonely tombstone. Once or twice she would even fall asleep, so peaceful as she laid against the smooth, cold stones. But the discovery would not remain only hers for long. 4 girls she knew from school spotted her in her special place. When they saw the stone Darla rested against, they were nasty and mean and made fun of Darla's find. They called her names like weirdo and spooky. One even called her smelly. At the time, Darla didn't understand that one at all. She sat and endured their mocking until the cruel girls went on their way to shop or giggle or whatever those kids did. Darla didn't care what the others thought. She leaned against the tombstone for the rest of the day, reading and occasionally talking to her new silent friend. By nightfall, it was time to go home for dinner. Darla stood and admired her work. She had made a long lost tombstone a thing of beauty. She was proud. The lonely tombstone would never be lonely again. And it would never be hungry again either. How cool was that? Like I said, I've seen people when they've said that it's a kid's book. It might be a children's book. It might be, something that you read to your sproglings and that at night if they can't get to sleep. But it is a fantastic comic. It's got pictures. It's got a story in it. It's got a zombie at the end of it. What more do you want in a comic? I mean, to tell you the truth, I can't even remember how I come about getting this. I think I saw it in my local comic book shop on the shelf, and there was a stack of about 5 of them. And I saw it and I thought, Steve Niles? Okay, I'll give it a go. I flicked through it. I looked at the pictures. I mean, the artwork in here, yes, it's, for children and that, but the artwork in here, if you've ever seen Tim Burton's artwork, it reminds me so much of that. It just reminds me of something like Tim Burton's artwork. And it's such a simple and such an innocent story. But I think that's what I like about it. Even right at the end, when you have the zombie popping out of the grave, the zombie doesn't eat the little girl's brains. No, the zombie shares her excuse me a minute, her avocado and sprout sandwich. How cool is that? How many kids out there, or how many of us out there would actually want to find an old tombstone, clear it up, and then find out there's a real living dead zombie in it who likes avocado and sprout sandwiches. Fantastic. So yeah, there you go. That is The Loneliest Tombstone by Steve Niles, Nikki Niles and Benjamin Roman. I'm not too sure if it's still available. I mean, you might be able to find it on something like Amazon or even on eBay. But, and like I said, it's a bit of a change from all the comics that I've done previously on so far on this 31 days of August. But it is one of my favourites, and you can't get more random than that. So there you go. That was today's comic. Tomorrow is Friday, which is where I'm going to do my viewer's choice random comic selection machine thing that I do. So if you haven't already given me 2 numbers, one between 1 and 51 and one between 1 and 300, I do need 2 numbers. So that would be 1 to 51 will be for the comic boxes behind me, and 1 to 300 will be for the comics inside the comic boxes. Okay. Yeah. Also, I will tell you again about the raffle that I'm going to have at the end of this set of videos that I'm doing. So yeah, I shall leave you to that. Hopefully you enjoyed that bit of a different way of reviewing a comic, I suppose, reading it to you. Sorry about the few fluffs and that, but this is what happens when you try and do a video in one take. Unfortunately, I haven't got the software to do the editing. Plus, as well as that, I find it really annoying when you get people when they're doing videos and all of a sudden they jump to another position because they've done a really bad edit on their video. But, yeah, there you go. So yeah, thanks for watching. Like I said, hope this was fun for you all out there. It was certainly fun for me. It was different anyway. Yeah, take care. See you tomorrow. Ta-ta for now.